permanent project. It's going to be a $244+ million project. Senator Hedlund played an integral role in getting that for our community. In the past year and a half, we've been dealing with the Southfield project up at South Weymouth, the former South Weymouth Naval Air Station, which has been, in my opinion, something that has haunted this town for too long. And the council really stepped up and played a major role in reforming that legislation, brought it up to Senator Hedlund, and literally at 2 o'clock in the morning, the day that these bills needed to get passed, Senator Hedlund was still running back and forth from the House to the Senate chamber, making sure that that bill got done, and then making sure that Weymouth took local control back over their property, taxation, because without us being in control of that property, Senator Hedlund knew that property was never going to be successful. And where it is today, and what we read about this project today, we see that this project is turning around, and this project is going to be a success, and an economic engine not only for Weymouth, but for the entire South Shore. So Senator Hedlund, thank you for this. I could go on and on about other projects that Senator Hedlund has done for Weymouth, and to be quite blunt, Senator Hedlund has basically just delivered for the town of Weymouth every single day that he's up in the State House and when he's down here. But that doesn't tell the story of the senator that I know, the senator that I've gotten to understand over the past 9 years. When you look behind the stuff that's in the newspapers and the things that are printed out, you actually get to see the real Bob Hedlund, the person that fights every day to make sure that the opiate epidemic that's ravaging the South Shore and across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is dealt with, that more beds are available for recovery, that people that are seeking treatment and help get the help that they are desperately looking for, and that education is being put into our school system to make sure that a future generation isn't going to be dealt with this outrageous epidemic that we are currently faced with. Outside of that, when you also dig deeper as far as the things that Senator Hedlund has done to make sure that your tax dollars are not abused by welfare abuse and EBT system abuse, and putting commissions in place and making sure that when those who need help and reach out to the state and say that they need a helping hand, that they use it properly and they don't use it to buy alcohol, tobacco, pornography.
Yeah.
Last but not least, before I do introduce our next mayor, I would like to say that one of the most important things that I dealt with in Senator Hedlund during my time with him as his legislative director was during the recession. When the recession hit, we got calls left and right of people losing jobs, people losing their homes, and people really struggling to make ends meet. Senator Hedlund was there late at night, side by side with me. I know Ted Langell, his chief of staff, who's here, was also doing this, calling people and responding to phone calls, and talking to banks out in California to literally save people's houses from foreclosure. That's the type of person Senator Hedlund is. That's the type of person that we need in town hall. That's the type of integrity we need, the type of leadership. So without further ado, our next mayor, your state senator, Bob Hedlund.
I want to thank everyone for coming. I'm going to sit back down. Patrick's going to come up and talk some more. Thank you for the introduction.
I think he likes you.
Thank you all for coming. Councilors, elected officials, and friends that have been with me a long time, thank you all for coming. There's a lot of people here that have been with me for a long time. We got the Hilberts over here. We got Dottie Leach, all these folks who've been with me in the earlier days. Somebody said, boy, you've come a long way. I remember we were sitting around a table many, many years ago, stuffing envelopes. How many people were there? I said, well, probably about 3. So thank you, everyone that's here tonight, everyone that's been with me for so long. Many of you are like family. I want to thank again, Patrick mentioned Melise Family Catering. I want to thank them, Rick Melise. And they've got a lot going on in their lives right now, and we appreciate them being here. Just a quick note on why he's here. And I don't know if Rick knows this story, but we started a little bit of a tradition. It's sporadic. It's not really annual. I guess the tradition is it's occasionally we have a pasta dinner here. We started doing it with volunteers. As a fiscal conservative, I didn't want to have to spend money on a caterer. And we started this tradition with volunteers. And I'm not going to out the person, but I showed up one year and I went in the kitchen and said, how's it going? We got all the food ready. And someone who actually is a member of the lodge here so I'm not going to out him, was stirring sauce. And while he was stirring the sauce, he had an Avanti cigar in his mouth. And an ash fell down into the sauce.
Keep stirring.
And I said, hey, Joe, ashes just went into the sauce. He said, I know, it's like oregano, it's my secret recipe. And I said, you know what, I think next year we'll use a caterer. So then, the great part about these events, you guys were here, you know what I'm talking about. We had a great successful event one year, we decided to do it the next year. We don't really have a good head count. Rick, you remember this. We ran out of food. We had a ton of walk-ins who didn't RSVP. So the following year, a guy shows up and he sits down at the table. And I go over and say hi to him. He goes, I came prepared this year, and he whips out a can of SpaghettiOs. Just in case. So hopefully we got enough food this year. We may be giving out doggy bags. Jim Melody, thank you, you guys. I saw a couple people snickering like, what's this Carpenters thing? For the record, I do like the Carpenters. Who knew?
Who knew?
I like metal, I like pop, I like a lot of stuff.
He likes music.
I just don't like rap. But for those of you that don't know, Jim is a son of Weymouth and a renowned performer. You hear his music on the radio. He has opened up for Jose Feliciano. You opened up for some rap guy, right?
But you hated him.
He was Mayor Menino's, one of Mayor Menino's performers and guests at the Boston tree lighting ceremony in front of thousands. And he wrote a song called Christmas in Boston that gets airplay in Boston around the holidays. You'll hear that song. He wrote a great song about the town of Weymouth, which I hope he plays. It's not my personal favorite of his. I have one of his CDs, but I think you'd like it. So Jimmy, maybe we can get you back up to play. I like not having a microphone here because when we talk, usually I'm standing up in front of the DJ, and there's this great gulf between everybody that's here and me with the dance floor. So I kind of like this a lot better. I hope you can hear me back there.
Yes.
I want to thank Joe O'Malley. Joe has been a long time great friend and has donated his services. And I won't get into his political history, but Joe, very passionate about what he believes in. You can hear him on the Boston airwaves also, not playing music, but calling talk shows and complaining about a lot of things. Richard, you're going to want to talk to him later, trust me. So, we had a great event. The guys that put that on, some of them are here last week. I want to thank them. Jimmy was part of that crew. We're back here. This is the last attempt at raising any funds for the campaign we're going to have before the November 3rd election. It's going pretty well so far. We don't take anything for granted in this business, as you know. We have, I don't know how many, 4 or 5 forums. There's one still up in the air. We taped the debate with the incumbent mayor last Saturday. I think it'll air this coming Monday, and then we have 4 more forums that are scheduled. Although we were very, very excited by the preliminary results. If you recall, we took 55% in a 6-way race. I was never that great at math, but I know that those are pretty good numbers.
That's really good.
However, I don't take anything for granted. As I said, I have felt the sharp elbows of Sue Kay in the past, where she's been involved in some of my races as a supporter of some people on the other side. Sue's a battler. Daughter of South Boston, knows how to get in the trenches and fight, and I don't expect that the next few weeks are going to be easy. I'm sure we're going to see a lot coming our way. So, and she's a formidable person in the debates. But so far, so good. With your help, and just continue to talk to your friends and neighbors, I know things are going to go well. The funny thing about this race is some of the issues that are coming up. You know, at these forums, we hear the same 5 issues. Patrick talked about some of them: the substance abuse problem that we see in our community, funding. Really, the root of a lot of the issues that we face here in town are a lack of revenues in this town. We haven't seen the economic growth. We're the only community in the region that has experienced a decline in certain revenues within town outside of real estate taxes. So we've got a lot of challenges. There's hope with Southfield. But it's kind of funny, some of the issues that have come up in our discussions. If you tune in Monday night, it was a pretty respectful, passive debate we had at WATD. The big flare-up we had in the debate was on the issue of seawalls. And it was kind of funny because, you know, I've got a coastal district that I represent now, and seawall funding has been a problem. It's not as big a problem in Weymouth as it is in Situate, Marshfield, and Hull, where we have open ocean. But in Weymouth, we do have a seawall in North Weymouth that needs attention. Some of you North Weymouth folks know exactly what I'm talking about. And it was amazing in the debate. I was touting, I didn't want to attack the mayor on any seawall issue. I was just mentioning, in response to a question, that